Hello, welcome to the Tired Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. Welcome to the Age of Sigmar Star Center. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be looking at the tournament results from around the world and discussing what those lists are and who played them and what they might mean in the Age of Sigmar Star Center. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Love hearts, emojis. Let's get in. It's really nice seeing you all. Thanks for joining us in the Twitch chat. Big love. I saw a couple of you subscribe. Crazy Horse, thank you for the gift subscriptions as well yesterday. That's appreciated. And Dan Brook. David Dog, I didn't get that tweet, but that's something I'll maybe talk about at the end. Sure. Hello, Lex. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you're all well. Daedrin, I lost my voice completely after the day of gaming. Yeah, I hear it. Yes, Hawkeye in the chat. Morning, Dud Life. On a site visit bunny near Nottingham when the thunder's rolling in, hide in the woods. Yeah, it's just started raining. Thanks everyone for the love about the streams yesterday. Very much appreciated. Don't forget we've got 2 streams this weekend coming. And then tonight we've got 2 band shows before the Age of Sigmar show. And what? Like, I wish I wasn't quite so wrecked in the voice because my enthusiasm is unparalleled. We've got Kragnos release. We've got the Warhammer Plus thing to break down, which is pure Spice Center talk. We've got the fact that Alariel seems to have been co-opted inside the Kragnos book, which is wild. Like, there's so much stuff to talk about later that's like not tournament results, but we'll do that later tonight. So today we're doing right now tournament results. Tonight, the 2 band shows for the 2 different matches for this weekend, and then all the Warhammer news later on to see what Nathan Prescott thinks about it all. That's pretty good. Yeah? It's going to be really good. I joined the show for the enthusiasm, obviously, says a Reaper. Right, so it's lovely seeing you all. Thanks here. Owen's obviously not here today. Super busy with work at the minute, with events and things opening up. That's one of the things he works on. He's super busy, so he's been away today. But huge shout out to him because he did all the show notes for me, so I didn't have to do it. So even though he's not here, he's the angel at our backs. He is the giant whose shoulders we stand upon to move forward. So it's going to be really exciting. And I'm glad you're here, Podcast Bros. Thanks for staying hydrated. Care Home Workers, thanks for listening in. And YouTubers, thanks for being thugs. It's been really nice. Right, so tournament results. Pretty exciting tournament results this weekend. Also wearing grey. Can we just talk about that for a moment? I'm wearing my Rage of Sigmar t-shirt and I'm just super happy. Right. Tournament results this weekend been pretty exciting because there was the New Zealand Masters that happened this weekend, which was very exciting. Oh no, I've messed this up. Oh, 1 second, lads. Let me just get this in. Flip. I thought I'd sorted it, but I haven't sorted it. Someone help me out. There we go. Right, now we can do it. Easy. Right, let's get this together. This is a fucking mess. Right. Anyway. So, let's talk about the list. The New Zealand's Masters was this weekend. The gorgeous, thanks Kill Panic for subscribing. The New Zealand's Masters this weekend, which was 14 players. I sometimes call that the Australian Masters because, of course, it was run by the wonderful Jimmy the Page, who's the current CanCon champion. What a legend. 5 games hanging out in Hamilton, New Zealand. Now, I don't really need to talk about these 2 guys. If you haven't listened to Notorious, Jimmy Connors, thanks for resubscribing. Use small words for me, please. Yeah, I'm on it. You don't really need me to talk about the Notorious crew out in New Zealand, but Notorious Age of Sigmar, they've got a podcast, Sean and Sean. You guys should go and listen to it. The New Zealand bros have got like some really solid Warhammer chops. They play really hard. They play really well. They travel. It's a small community. They play a lot. I had Aidan on the show. What a lovely man. Talking about their community and kind of the teams and everyone getting together. And they play some really, really solid Warhammer. Daedrin, thanks for donating £5 to the show. That's very much appreciated. But don't worry, you don't have to. But huge love. And I hope you enjoyed your Warhammer gaming yesterday. So Sean took the event out. Now, we did the list review show on Friday. And in the list review show Friday, one of the things we talked about was, or one of the things I said, so I'm going to eat myself some humble pie, is that I don't really rate tech lists in Lumineth Realm Lords. Now, Sean's made me look like a complete mug, and he's gone and won the event 5-0 with a pretty tough like path to victory ultimately. So let's look at let's talk about his path to victory. So he's the only player to go 5-0. He beat Barak Ziflin KO at the start, which I think is a good play. He beat More Tribes Blood Gullet. He beat Overlord's Barak Mornar, which is against his own friend Sean. I think he's probably friends with everyone, but like whatever. He then beat IDK Dom Hain, and he beat Bo, who already ended up taking an event out very recently. So Bo's got some real chops as well. That Idneth Deepkin list as well is very, very solid. And then he ended up beating Seraphon Thunder Lizard in the final round. So, like, really, really good numbers, ultimately. Let's go look at the list. The list you're looking at there is the wrong list. So, he's got Lumineth Realm Lords in Sire, of course. I was listening to a show the other day, and they were like, oh, yeah, the most popular one's Geometrica. And I was like, what fucking world are you living in? But that's just me complaining because I'm tired. Apologies, everyone. These are from New Zealand, yeah. So this is where it is. So this is Sire, and he's got Teclis, he's got the Cathalar, and then he's got the Auralan Legion, and then he's got 20 Wardens, 2 lots of 10 Wardens, and then he's got 30 Sentinels. 1, 2, 3, 30 Sentinels. Now this is in no way different. The Cathalar's the General, got Command Trait, Goad and Arrogance, got Perfect Blade. Like, none of this is different to what you see. However, sometimes you'll see yourself a pocket unit of Dawn Riders, like a unit of 5. Sometimes you see people go for 2 bricks of 20 Wardens, sometimes 30 Wardens, which I think is a little bit over the top. However, Sean has mixed this up, and things I don't normally see. I always see the Spell Portal, and then I see the rest of that point, so the 100 points you can see spent there, on another unit, or try to get another unit in. One of the things that I think he's done, which is very interesting here, is he's gone not for a lot less bodies, but he's really committed to having the Twin Stones and the Rune of Petrification. Now, I've asked Sean if he's going to come on the show. He's going to talk about the event, and he said he's willing to because he's such a legend. So that'll be really great having him on. We've had him on before. I'd love to hear his thoughts, and I'd love to hear how he played with Teclis. One of the things I talk about with Teclis a lot is that no one plays him particularly aggro. He's like 600 points who sits back doing nothing. I wonder if he ended up putting the Rune of Petrification on him, running him forward, using the Aether Quartz to be able to increase his save and just make him that much more defensive so that other people can try and engage with him. A bit like what we saw Tubbsy talk about with his Mornar list, where he puts his Ironclad forward, using those reroll saves, kind of use them to tank. Very much like we saw at the weekend, or the coverage yesterday, the way Morathi is thrown forward. So you're dealing with that, and instead of dealing with like the rest of the army. So, is Sanctum the defensive one? Thanks, Halalex. He used it on the rune on the tables. Okay. Then I'm wrong. Well, that's why I'm going to have him on the show. That's the important questions I want to ask. Why the Twin Stones and why the Rune of Petrification? Why are they in there? I understand the Twin Stones because obviously it makes all your casting that much more reliable. And if we look at his like spell loadout, he's obviously running Lambent Light, so you get those rerolls to hit from the Sentinels. He's also got Ethereal, but of course he's got Total Eclipse to making all of your stuff, whatever the right word is. So yeah, so making your command points have to be doubled. That's what I mean. Smashing it. I'm getting in now. This is only show 1 of 4, gents. So I'm just building it up. There we go. Okay, but I mean, very exciting for Sean, and I think very exciting actually in a tough field to talk about him doing quite well. One of the things I will say, he played against Ziflin, almost no counter magic. Played against Bug Gullet, pretty much no counter magic. Mornar, pretty much no counter magic. Dom Hain, almost no counter magic. And then Thunder Lizard. So that was really the only like tough, like he might have to roll dice sort of situation. And I think that's quite cool. Bo in second place has got a fairly standard list, I'd say. Sorry, everyone. My throat's pretty wrecked. And then he's got Volturnus, he's got Soulscryer, and then he's got 2 lots of 6 Morsar Guard, and he's got 3 lots of 3 defensive guard, and then he's got the Leviathan. And we've seen Bo do really well with this list before, so I'm really excited for him to keep that up. We've talked about this lists similar to this time and time again. Ever since we've had the release of A Broken Realms of Morathi, these Leviathans making it into almost all the lists. and then doubling up with the Ishelin Guard really, really well. So a really top play. The bracket for this, if I just go back and just talk about this for a second. So Bo was the only person to go 4-1, and then in that kind of 3-1-1 bracket with Sean, Stephen Morris in there as well. So that's the kind of bracket that goes in. We did call it. Well, Smorgan, did we call it? You called it. Smorgan said he was either coming first or last. I think that's what Smorgan said. I think I was shouting. Did I talk about Bo? I thought it was about Bo. Anyway, a really exciting tournament, and I can't wait to have those guys on to talk about it. And also shout out to Jimmy for running the event, and shout out to everyone in New Zealand. A really great community. I mean, I think most people in the world want to travel to New Zealand anyway. There's the added bonus that I'd like to go to New Zealand and play Warhammer with all these guys and girls, so like that would be great. In Poland, over in Poland, Generals War 41. So the 3 people, it was just a one-dayer, 3 games. It was 22 players. It was Warsaw in Poland. The TO was Uncle Kayoshi, so big shout out to him. Now the winner was Michael Hussman with his Seraphon Fangs of Sotek, and then in second place was Piotr Kukowski, and then third was Ryan Alguis with the Disciples of Tzeentch, and Piotr was running his Daughters of Cain. And I think there's a lot to break down about these 3 lists. The Seraphon list is now we saw Seraphon play. We saw the lovely Tom play at the Super Series yesterday, and it didn't happen to do great, and that's okay. That happens. And I think one of the reasons we could talk about why, I'm going to break down some of those games into smaller videos and really have a conversation about what went wrong necessarily. And I think one of the things here is looking at what's in this list and how it differs. So yeah, having big bricks of skinks is really, really good. But when you're screening with your output unit, you're in a real problem. So those 2 units of 10 skinks that you see here, they're lovely. They're lovely for just screening off, controlling board space, meaning that your big hitters in the Salamanders, the 40 skinks, and then also obviously Kroak can do some really solid work. Now, what I really like about this list is its projection ability. So instead of just sitting inside a castle and trying to alpha off with 40 skinks, one of the things that I think is really, really nice about this list is he's got Kroak in there, and he doubles up super well. He's obviously got the combo, the Ashtoth Bannerbearer and the Belwyn Vortex, but he combos up really nice with the Skink Oracle on Troglodyte, where you can cast the spells through him, extending the range even more for Kroak. One of the things you tend to see with Kroak is he's played quite defensively, so he's at the back of the board, and unless your enemy engages with you, you can't really use him like his full potential. And you've spent a lot of points, close to 400 to 500 points when you count in the Ashtoth Bannerbearer who you've paid for, and you've also paid for the Belwyn Vortex and the Saurus Guard. In fact, 500 points definitely. You paid for it, so why not just kind of commit a little bit more and use the Skink Oracle on Troglodyte to extend that range? I think that's actually really, really nice, and gives you some options, and it means you can kind of push your army forward, and then the Kroak's still at the back, but his range keeps being extended. I think it's a really good pick, is what I'm going to say. Yeah, more like 600. Yeah, Crazy Horse. Yeah, agreed with that. Looks like forward to getting some free tutorial when discussing my Seraphon. Sandpit Turtle, yes, Tom. Tom, by the way, a treasure. He bought us a hamper with some stuff inside and some jams. Wore his dinosaur outfit and dinosaur socks while playing his Seraphon. Completely in the spirit of how I like seeing Warhammer events played. A truly beautiful person. So yeah, just a great human being. The other nice thing about this particular list that we're talking about here, this Seraphon list, is he included the Knight Incanter. So there's that auto unbind, which I think is really, really nice against clutch spells. And then it's been carried in with the Everblaze Comet, which is really destructive. And it really shows you how cheap everything in the Seraphon list is, because what he's done is he's committed into the Kroak build. Now, one of the things you tend to see is the Kroak build ends up having, it's just its core. Belwyn Vortex, Kroak, and then the Ashtoth Bannerbearer. This has not stripped it back. Oh, sorry, and the Saurus Guard. This hasn't stripped it back. He's gone, cool, this is some really good damage. I'm going to really add into this. So I'm going to add the Skink Oracle on Troglodyte. I'm going to add in the Knight Incanter with the Everblaze Comet. I'm going to add all those in. So when I start doing Celestial Deliverance, I'm going to drop down the Comet, and I'm just going to do AoE damage. It's rough, and I think it's really cool. I really like this list. Now, this list. I was talking to Tom yesterday, Morsley from the Marauders, and we saw Henrik run this list. We've seen this list played on TTS as well, so we saw him played. Again, I can't stress enough how much this is like one of the top meta lists in Age of Sigmar at the moment, and just how good it is. But it's very good. So this was 3-0, so Piotr took this to a 3-0 victory in this one day. Now, this is Calibron, and this is Daughters of Cain. It's got Marathi in, of course. It's got the Bloodrat Medusa, and the Bloodrat Medusa is the general, which means he's not having to produce any screens. He's not having to spend like 300 points on 3 units to 10 Witch Elves. I personally think that that's a good play. I really like Henrik's list yesterday. That had 3 units to 10 Witch Elves in. This version doesn't. It has, as battle line, 20 Bloodstalkers, 10 Bloodstalkers, and then 9 Shadow Stonkers, and then it's got the Viperic Guard and the Bloodrat Viper in there as well. So it's an even smaller, it's a lower drop. I think one of the things about some of the Daughters of Cain lists that we've seen, they've been higher drops that not necessarily getting the choice. One of the things is just how potent this is, and especially this particular build, because this is no fat. This is just output all the time, which I think might be problematic. Everything I just said about the Seraphon list, and talking about Tom's list from the weekend, where it didn't have those 2 units of 10 skinks to trade with on objectives, couldn't put 10 there and make you have to take them off to grab the objective. We'll talk about trading more in another video. It just doesn't really have that option. This list also doesn't really have that option, and that's the difference between Henrik's list and this list. But this is raw output. It doesn't need trade because it gets the opportunity to go first, and its threat range is huge. It's got Marathi, it can just throw at you turn 1. It's obviously in Calibron, so it's got a teleport, which is different to Hagnoir, which is built to be more defensive. In this is built for pure offense. Just throws Marathi at you. And then those 20 Bloodstalkers, they are shooting twice. So that now is 40 shots in the hero phase at 24 inches and 40 shots in the shooting phase at 24 inches after they've moved another 8. Its threat range is bonkers, and its output is insane. The only issue is if you can charge it early or you can get at it, because it isn't going to be able to defend itself from deep strikes or alpha strikes particularly well. The alpha strike protection is from its low drop, but it's really good. And everything in there is great. The Shadow Stalkers are an amazing unit. They're just great. The only thing I will say about it is I just think it's a little light on units to control board space, right? So I think this will play really, really well into loads of battle plans, and then Scorched Earth might be a conversation about playing this. But Piotr's going to do really well with this. And in the future, that Bloodstalker Marathi combination is something you're going to have to watch out for and try and work out how you're going to deal with it. Answers on a postcard, please, to the TSN Arena. If you know how to deal with it, just drop me a voice note. Just say, look, Rob, this is the way you deal with it. It's really good. And then in third place, but still a 3-0 in this bracket, was a Change Host Eternal Conflagration list, of course, with 20 pink horrors in a big brick, which I quite like. 6 flamers, 3 flamers, 3 flamers. And if Tom's still in the chat, he obviously doesn't want anyone to talk about flamers again for the rest of his life. But yeah, those flamers we saw played so well yesterday by Zinch Mike. I got to say, Zinch Mike's game, was it his third game yesterday? Where he ended up moving. He played against Rick with his Sons of Behemoth, where he ended up taking the center board space on Scorched Earth. Was just a beautiful watch. He just played a beautiful game. It was a really fascinating match. Similarly, this is basically the same loadout. Apart from the pink horrors have been split up into 2 units of 10, and instead this is 1 brick of 20, which works really nice with Fold Reality, of course, super well. And it's a really nice pick. So yeah, that is all of the events that happened at the weekend that I know of, or that Owen's written up for me here. So then upcoming events that we have is this weekend. There is the Super Series Genesis weekend. So we have 2 more matches from our round 1, and then what the winners of those 2 matches are going to define who becomes who's going to go into the semi-finals, which is going to be really exciting. So looking forward to that, and I'm sure there are more events coming up around the world in the future, but those are the most immediate ones. So anyone got any questions before I head out today. I'm gonna make it a shorter one today, just to. The bans are either at 6 p.m. UK time or 6:30, around there. Either just before the Age of Sigmar show on the Honest Wargamer or later. And don't forget, it'll all be on the T Sports Network for you to watch it. Did I mention Little Bo Peep Heat 2? No, sir, it wasn't put in. I'm sorry, it wasn't put in the show notes. But I promise I'll go look at it after, and then I'll put it in the show notes for next week. I promise, if that helps. Any questions? Any questions? Tied up Stonehorns ate loads of snakes. Oh, you played it. Avoid the matchup. Thanks. I beat. Oh, so JP said he beat. Did you end up beating the Daughters of Cain list? I beat this weekend with Severith. Okay, JP. I like hearing that. Hawkeye in the chat, who's running the Big War list that we saw playing all weekend, an absolutely lovely fella. I would have liked to have gone up against Henrik's list yesterday. It would have been a good fight. I agree. I think that would have been really good. I really like Big War, but I really like the smashing and bashing mechanic. Like, you can see it missing sometimes, which is sad. Oh yes, and also there was a one-dayer at the Just Play event this weekend. Sorry that we didn't get that, Warhammer Rob, who ended up taking it out. One of our stats crew took the event out. So big shout out to the Honest Wargamer team there. Well done, Rob. Really proud of you. Talk tonight about it. Okay, have we talked about the new kits for Broken Realms already? No. So we're going to do all that tonight. All of that tonight on the Age of Sigmar show. So that'll be good. So let's do that. So don't forget, that'll be me and the boys. Then we can get into it, the nitty gritty. Deviant Doc's question. We can get into Kragnos. We can get into the rules. We can get into the pre-order. The fact that the Age of Sigmar 3 box set is being opened this Saturday. It's called Dominion, and they're doing a live stream reveal of it at 6 p.m. specifically to mess with the Super Series event. They scheduled it on purpose. Who knows? And we'll talk about all of that stuff later. So it's been lovely talking to you all. Thank you very much. Thanks to YouTube Thugs. Thanks to everyone on the podcast. Stay hydrated. And of course, thanks to everyone in the Twitch chat. You guys are great. We'll see you guys later. Lots of shows today. Well, yeah, just keep your eyes and ears open. Yes, just follow the Twitter. That's where, like, sometimes we post on Facebook and other stuff, but Twitter's just where we post everything. So follow either the Honest Wargamer or the T Sports Network, and that's where you'll see what we're doing. And that's the best way to do it. So do that. Let's go raid someone. Let's go raid some young fellow. Who can we raid? Who can we raid today is the real question. I'll see you guys later. Here we go. Let's go do this. Let's go make someone happy. Bring all your questions and your hot goss later. Looking forward to it. And I love you all for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.